Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the post-match review. Manchester United have just lost another game, 3-1 to Brentford, and I'm sure the lads have plenty of frustrations they want to vent, and I'm sure a lot of them are the same things we were saying week in, week out. Every single match day, there is always something, whether it's the midfield or the goalkeeper or the centre-backs, and it's at this point, it's becoming repetitive. And I think the saying is that, what is it? I don't actually know what the saying is. The saying is you do something so many times.
Definition of insanity. Yeah.
Is doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? Does that line not encapsulate everything about Man United at the minute? Civir, I'll go to you first. Chat to me about that game, please.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? And it's just sad to see that we're just unable to react to any sort of tactical setup. So if we're playing against like a top team, say like your Arsenals or your Chelseas and stuff, where you are pretty much on the back foot, it's great. We can always counter them, spacing behind and all that sort of stuff. But then when you come against teams like Brentford, they're just play ugly and kind of just, the physical kind of stuff. Like there's no answer to that. And even if that happens during the game, at least, what you would hope to see is, some adaptation to style of play, but we don't really see that. I don't think I can say anything about this system that I haven't already said. I think I'm kind of tired of talking about. Really, I'm honestly like tired because, you could pick any part. It just boils down to the fact, and I'm kind of happy that we didn't buy a midfielder because it would have been the same thing. Like it really wouldn't matter that much. There might be some small, improvements, but it's just the same setup. Like we're so vulnerable. And the first goal that we conceded, the same scenario happened 2 minutes before, 2 minutes just before that, like in the first half when we went up front and then they got the ball back. And when I saw that, I was like, that is worrying. But that's my take on that.
Sam, it started, Civir used the word ugly there. I think that's a really good descriptive word to use. What word would you use to describe that?
From Brentford, like Civir wants to use the word ugly, and that sort of style used to get mocked when Tony Pulis would play it with Stoke famously. Sam Allardyce has played it. Like it's been done by the lower teams in order to get results against bigger teams. But because a lot of the lower teams now are trying to go for this style or they've been influenced by Pep, like we've seen Southampton, Burnley under Company, this sort of style of football has been a bit left behind. But it seems like a lot of teams are coming back and bringing it back. Arsenal are doing a lot of this sort of stuff and getting results. Brentford of doing this result. And like Civir said, you'd hope the manager's got an answer to it. And they're sort of like, let's tweak something, let's change something, let's stop those long balls over the top. Let's stop allowing that space that's being exploited by Brentford every time Dorgu pushes up and they just exploit Luke Shaw. Let's shut that down because that's how they were getting in every single time. But there was nothing. There was nothing changed. They didn't do anything. I thought the selection was wrong. Like I understood having the height for the set pieces and stuff on Maguire and De Ligt, but when you're trying to play a high line and you're trying to catch him in the offside, which for the first goal we didn't do, with Harry Maguire, it's just terrible. And you've got Lenioro sitting on the bench who's your quickest centre-back. Like, I just don't understand it. Continuously playing Bruno in the pivot doesn't work. Why are we still doing it? Just doesn't work. Keep doing it. Like you said, insanity. Same thing over and over again. Expect different results. And we've been rightly beaten by a Brentford team that's had one win this season. Like, shite.
I really try my best not to be reactionary I try to be composed and support the manager and back the players as much as I can. And even when, I'm going back and forth with my mates, I'm like, just give it a bit of time. It's, just to try find something because as a United fan, I'm sick of fucking changing the manager every year or every year and a half and then having to go through the same PR cycle again that he's new and he's got a new system and he's got a new setup and this isn't working and blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like all that, it's really, really just, it it drags on you as a fan, especially when we're in the kind of area that we are, when we're doing match reviews and build-ups and talk about players and how we can get better. And then you watch the same shit every week, or there'll be a bit of a peak in performance where you watch against Chelsea and you go, okay, there's something we can work with there, with something we can latch onto. And then they lose to 3-1 to Brentford. It's pointless, it's repetitive, and it's boring, and it's getting tired. And in actual fact as well, I'm completely done with this manager, me. I've seen more than enough of a sample size from him when he first came in. I get it was tricky when he came in. He had things to deal with. We have a summer of recruitment. You spend 200 and odd million pound on your attack, and you've got 2 or 3 goals out from the attack. You're still being stubborn in your selections in midfield. You're still being stubborn in your selections at the back. You're taking centre backs off in the 70th minute and the 75th minute every single game.
Yeah.
You're still going with Bayern. You bought a goalkeeper for £20 million, and you're still going with Bayern when you're playing against Brentford, whose expertise are set pieces, corners, second balls, everything like that, and you're still playing Bayern. It makes no sense. You're doing the same things every week, and nothing's changing. Every great manager changes it.
Yeah.
Every great manager.
Do you know
it's unacceptable.
You know the centre backs thing? The last 26 games, you know how many times he's changed his centre backs?
Every game. I'm guessing.
22. So 22 out of 26 games, he's made a centre back change.
I
don't understand it. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I'm honestly, I'm done. I'm done with it. I can't watch this football anymore.
I've got a couple of stats. Anyway, today was Amarin's 200th top flight game as manager. He's lost 3 more of his 33 Premier League games with United, which is 17 that he did in 167 Portuguese league matches. We've not won in our last 8 Premier League away matches, 2 draws, 6 defeats. First game in charge of Amarin was November 2024. No team has conceded the first goal in more different games than Man United. 21 games we conceded the first goal.
Do you know what's annoying as well? They play like children on that pitch when you watch them. That I could tell from the first, and we said this in a preview, from the first 5-10 minutes how that game is going to go. Within the first 10 minutes, you're looking at the players and like just kind of like not looking up for it, just not fully committing into like the duels. Everything, you could just go through a list of things that you see in a game when you know it's just going to go tits up, and you could just tell like they just didn't seem like they was up for it for whatever reason. And there were so many individual performers that I want to get into, but I want to try to go through the scenarios in the game, because obviously there was goals and penalties missed and stuff that kind of need to go through. But just on the first goal, it's like pub football 101, isn't it? Just a long ball straight into the channel. Maguire, I think, makes an attempt, which is too late to step up to play him offside, keeps him onside. It's a great finish by Thiago, isn't it? But I was thinking at the time watching it, if that's a Saliba or a Van der Ven, or they're getting back and they're putting him off enough for a shot to go wide or to go over the bar, which it exposed our weaknesses, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a few times when we talk about the high-risk footballs, like high-risk, high-reward sort of thing. And Maguire, there's no excuse for that. He was just complacent. I think it was just a loss of concentration for I don't know. He switched off for 2 seconds. He got done by Thiago. And Thiago is not the quickest, but he's quick enough. I think he's got really good acceleration. I haven't seen too much from him, but the way he got away from Maguire, that was just quick. I doubt if Euro would have caught him, even if it was Euro in that position. But that's not to make excuses or anything. It was just terrible defending. And I still thought he had a lot to do, Thiago. Like that,
it was
that
a great
shot,
finish.
Great finish. I was like, oh, okay, he's going to miss it, and then he went in. And there was nothing the goalkeeper could do, because it was hit at such pace, power. You can't anticipate where that's going to go. You can guess, but then it went into the roof. So it was like there's nothing you could really do about it, and that was it. There's 2 things there. There's the complacency by Maguire, fair and square, but then there's the setup. It's way too vulnerable, and we've talked about this so many times. Like, you can't push. If you're going to leave someone behind, you have to leave someone like Shaw, or someone like Ugarte or Mason, or someone who's quick enough, like your quickest defender at the back. And that's one thing that we changed at the end of the I noticed that a lot of times it was Ugarte who was at the back, or sometimes it would be Dalu. Or I think that kind of changed after that. But then it's too annoying that every time we lose the ball in an advanced position, the attack is on us like that. And we've seen this. It's nothing new. We've seen this so many times. So it's like, yeah, that was and goals change games, because that's just set the tone how the game was going to go. I think Brentford were a little bit timid until they got that goal, and I think it just kind of swayed the whole thing. And if you're unable to kind of get control of a game after that, it just builds and builds and gets boom, and then it just carries on from there, and that's what happened.
Yeah, there was too many crosses, third man runners, not tracking players when you should be doing, and then the second goal, Sam, comes from that. Another long ball into the channel. Yeah. Pace exposed. I think it was DeLitt who was at fault for that as well. With Maguire as kind of like a combination. But even when the ball gets played in, I can't remember who it's from. There are 4 defenders in that box. So Sharda plays the ball. 4 defenders scrambling back. Bind it, parries it.
None of them knew what they were doing. Again. It just seemed like all the defenders, they had no clue who they were supposed to be marking, what space they were supposed to be operating in, where the ball was, where the threat was, everything. It was just like there was just chaos going on, and it seems like they were all trying to save something, but had no idea what it is they were trying to do. And every time they had a long ball into our box, it was like a corner, because Bayinde would just flap and didn't know what to do. He'd be punching it. He'd be getting crowded by defenders. It was just, like you said, it's schoolboy. Like, it's really schoolboy defending. And you've got big lads on there. You've got Sesko, you got DeLitt, you got Maguire. Somebody get your fucking head on it and just get it out of there. Like, it's not hard. It's not difficult.
The ironic thing is, they put on big players for height, and then they got done for pace anyway.
Exactly.
In the channel.
But even on set pieces, do you remember us winning a single aerial duel? Because I don't.
Any second duel recovery.
Yeah, won a few times, but like
it's few and far between, isn't it? Really. Yeah. And then you go 2-0 down. Obviously, there's a mountain to climb, given the way we was performing. Benjamin Šeško gets on the score sheet, and I can't even enjoy that. Can't even enjoy it because
he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He didn't even celebrate. He just scored it, and then he was pointing like,
he was like, get it back to the fucking. He actually, his overall game was. I thought it was decent.
Yeah. This is the best I've seen of him.
One of the only players where I'm like, he's actually doing bits. I was getting frustrated with Cunha at times. I thought Mbumo was quiet.
Cunha was losing my mind. The decision making he was doing, just choosing to shoot every fucking time. Like play Bruno in, slide it across to Mbumo or Sesko. Every time he was shooting, I was just like, oh, for
and we got annoyed with
mate.
Garnacho for doing similar things, getting in certain positions when you need to play the ball, and he wasn't. And they got lucky as well, by the way, in our half when he fell over and they got a turnover and they're given a foul for it. Things like that. Like, they all seem frustrated. Whenever the camera pans to a player, they look visibly annoyed and I get it, but it's like they've got no composure throughout that team. That stems from the back right through the full thing. None of them. Ugarte and Bruno in the middle. Talk about getting a player and putting your foot on the ball and slowing the tempo of the game down and keeping hold of it at times. Both of them are so erratic. And Ugarte, so many times where he's doing that with his head. And like, mate, you're in the Premier League. You don't have that long on the ball. He's dilly-dallying on it. Bruno as well at times, just pushed over too easy. And that's going to keep happening. These results are going to keep happening, and we're going to finish in the bottom half of the table again if they keep doing that. And for that reason, if the manager is too stubborn to fucking change anything, I'm sorry, he shouldn't manage his club. Because it's about winning, it's about getting points. And his methods, clearly the players can't adapt to it, clearly it's not working, and clearly he's not going to change it.
No.
So is there any other out than saying he needs to go?
I will never call for a manager to be sacked. Like, I'll never do it. However, I've got zero faith that he's going to turn this around. Like, I think I was hanging on by a thread after the Chelsea game, and I thought, all right, maybe there's something here. We can get back-to-back wins, get them momentum, blah, blah. I don't think there's anything there anymore, because he's clearly not going to change something. He's clearly not doing stuff in-game to tactically move things, to mitigate certain things. So, it's just a matter of time now. Obviously, after Sunderland, we've got an international break. He's probably got the game against Sunderland, and I think regardless of what happens at Sunderland, I think they might let him go in that international break.
Do you know what? I still think they'll stick with him.
You reckon?
Oh, he's staying. Yeah, he's staying.
Yeah, I still think they'll stick with him, and I
He's
think
staying.
again that's a stubbornness from Ineos because it's like, oh, this is our guy. It's
Is
gonna
it the
work
payout?
out.
Is it the payout? Is that
It's
I don't know
probably-
what it is.
It's probably a myriad of things. It's probably the payouts, probably identifying the right person, that sort of thing. Because we just paid how much for him. That's the thing. When you sack a manager, you pay him out, and then you pay the guy who's coming in as well. So it's like there's so much money. So it's one of those things where it's like, mate, he probably knows that he's under pressure. Like, I don't think Jim Ratcliffe is one of those people that has any patience and like is going to hang about. Like he is going to want results. We don't have the luxury of finishing outside of the European places anymore from a financial point of view. So he knows that, I think he would know that his place is insecure. But I think the reason why we haven't sacked him is just because we're probably trying to find a new manager, like the right person to bring in.
Is there one out there, Civir?
No idea. But Ineos are the data people now. They'll probably go out there and find someone. Here's the thing, nowadays with modern football, like we've talked about this a few times, modern football is just all about systems, right? You go and find someone who's just decent enough to hold the fort, right? And just is able to use the players you have right now to give you results. It's like how Van Nistelrooy came in and just held the fort. He knew he probably had other ideas, but then he knows what, if I play Casemiro and Gatti and put them as a shield in front of the defense, and then have Bruno Fernandes as the number 10 creative spark, get the ball to him as quick as possible. The runners, we've got the wingers, that sort of thing. Just sometimes football is not really complicated. This style of football is ridiculously complicated. It's not fun. It doesn't look like it's fun to play in. Like players can't really get into the groove. And another thing we've talked about before is like it's just dependent on individual. You have to get a hybrid for every single position for this system to work. That's what it is. Once something gets taken out of it, Ahmad gets taken out, Casemiro gets taken out, the whole thing crumbles. Like you have to get, the right players, the right profile for it, or otherwise.
And we're only playing once a week as well.
Yeah, and we're only playing once a week. You know what I think about tactics and stuff? Just we've done this tactic for so many times, right? I don't care. We don't need to follow it anymore. Just coach training and defend corners from morning till night. That's all. Just go and do it. Just
10,000 hour rule.
Yeah, just defend corners from start to finish every day, because that seems to be a problem. Corners and dead balls, just defend that whole thing. And I know people might be pissed off at me for saying this, but I think Bayandé did his part to keep us in the game. There's 2 headers he saved, and then there was a cutback to Ouattara that he also saved.
Yeah,
and
he made some good saves.
Yeah, he made some good saves when he was, and I thought, wow, okay, this is Brentford missing chances. Like we're still in this. Like we can still capitalize on these. And I think he did his part as far as keeping us in 2-1. Like we just had to do our part upstairs, and that didn't seem to work, man.
But then there was a couple of things with Bayandé where the third goal, where it goes straight down the pipe, and he kind of, his positioning was off by the time he shoots, so it just goes straight in the middle of his net. Then he's like parrying it into certain areas. So it's all good having like you say, like he made quite a few decent saves, but then there's other sides to his game where I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like even that, like
I think we know. Yeah, I think we know that he's not a really good keeper. It's kind of crap.
That's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah, but I was just pointing at the fact that, for the individual things that he did in the game, it's not me saying, oh, he's a good keeper. And
I know.
But he's rubbish. Like this is one of the goalkeepers that I probably have the least faith in my entire, time as being a United fan, because there were so many times when I'd see an attacker going and you just, whether it was Van der Sar, it was David De Gea, you just kind of knew, even when it was Romero.
Solid.
Yeah, you just kind of knew, well, there's a 50-50 chance that this guy saves it. With Bayern, there's like 10%.
Right, let me dive into the comments because I'm really interested to see what people think after that result. Eric Jovin saying, supporting Manchester United is the worst decision I've made in my whole life. Andy saying 17 losses, lads. They have to sack this man. Everybody likes him. It's just not working. Lou saying sack him now. Not working. Something needs to change. Rather watch Deitch ball. Can someone tell me the reason why these players are underperforming? You're not playing Conference League, no Europa League, no Champions League. Yet these players are shit. Rain 8 is saying time for Amarim to go. Don't even want to see the back five against Sunderland at home. Too stubborn, too stupid, and players have given up. I've seen this story before. Tim99, yep, can't carry on like this. Any progress seems to disappear next game. Listen, if Tim's going, you know that's it. You know that's it. I can't believe we're going to sack another manager, but you have to react to what you're seeing, and that is a manager who plays boring football on a back five against League Two sides. And do you know what? The thing you've gone on about this a lot, Chivy, but I'll throw this to Sam as well. That area where players keep dropping into, Marco Silva said it after the Fulham game, didn't he? With the Wolby dropping in either side of the centre backs or the midfielders, whatever you want to call it, where the wing backs drop. So there's that pocket of space and half spaces. They did it again, Damsgaard floating into those kind of areas. Watara was dropping back at times. It's happened every single game, and they don't seem to be doing anything to rectify it, or whatever word you want to use. They just seem, again, it's stubbornness, isn't it? And it's insanity.
I've read like there's two ways of going about it, and I don't believe the first one that I'm going to say, but I'll just put it out there because it could be a possibility. Either he doesn't recognise it's an issue, so he's not seeing it, which I refuse to believe because he's a professional manager and we're seeing it. Every other manager's seeing it, so I have to assume he's seeing it. Or, like you said, if he does tweak it, change it, that means changes to his system and the way he wants to operate, which he's refusing to do. So that's why that thing keeps happening, because managers know they can exploit that because they know he's not going to change it and he's not going to move anything to defend against it. So they can just keep hitting that space every single time and earn opportunities and goals from it. So until he decides he's going to change it, which he won't, that'll keep happening every game. Like every game, their team will go, there's space, ball over the top into that channel, get your runners on it, get whoever your forwards on it, and we'll create a chance.
And
I have a third option. I have a third option for you, Sam. Okay. And the third option is he doesn't know how to change it. That's the third option. Like, because if you think about it, like he's played the same way throughout his entire career. And when he first came, and I remember that one of his first interviews before we even started playing, and they were talking to him about the system and whether it'd be successful. And he said it's not about the positions, it's about the idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that sounds very interesting. But then I don't see any sort of idea or anything. I mean, there was once that he played a back, well, it looked like he played a back four, and I remember it was a game with Malacia in there, where Malacia came dropping in to make it a back four, but that was just once, and we lost that game anyway. I don't remember what game it was. So it's like, I really don't. So the third one is he probably just doesn't know how to play any other way, which is probably the most scary option of the three, because if he's being stubborn, it means he just wants to, with his ego and all that. But if he can't play any other way, then, bro, we're fucked, man.
Just before you say it, do you think it's like a Ten Hag thing? Because Ten Hag clearly knew there was another way, because we saw it late on in the season. Do you think it's a Ten Hag thing where he's just going to keep going until it's nearly too late and then he might change something? Or do you genuinely think he doesn't know? Because we all thought Ten Hag is the thing, and he didn't know, but then he changed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, right, he knows he can, and he just refused to. Do you think it's that, or do you think he genuinely doesn't know?
But that's tough because, go on, Nick.
Doing that in a cup final, though, is the longevity in that, in the way he
played.
He
did it against that. He did it in the last couple of Premier League games.
Yeah,
against Arsenal.
He did. We played the same way after that, and and it was. I think the only thing that harmed us then was because we had a lot of injuries at the time, but we played really well. Like Sofian Amrabat, those 4 games, Amrabat was just like amazing. Yeah, him and Kobe. But then he just changed it again, and it didn't make sense. But
The one thing I wanted to mention is there was a period last season. I think it was last season. I don't even know where we're at in a minute in the season, where Man City, we all remember in December, was awful, wasn't there? He was getting beat by everyone. Had a really, probably 15 games where they were shocking and it just wasn't working for Pep, and they was getting cut open every single game.
Yeah.
And he can have a big ego at times, Pep, and he can be stubborn at times with certain situations, but he changed. Every good manager evolves and adapts to the situation and what's going on. Like against Arsenal, they sat back and counter-attacked. Haaland's goal came from a counter-attack. It was like Ollie 101. I'm not saying they play the exact same as that, but he tweaked it because, you know what? You've got to look at your weaknesses within your squad, and you've got to look at what's working at the minute. Arsenal, physical side. Arsenal like to keep hold of the ball.
Arsenal, didn't he go to a back five? He went to a back five against Arsenal, didn't he? Like, just shut the game down. He went to a back five.
He's adapting. He's adapting and changing. And look, he may have only drew the game, but it's only because they got literally a last-minute winner. Apart from that, he was in control for the majority of it. With us, you can see, you watch us every game, and you're looking at the three centre-backs, you're looking at the wing-backs high up. There's no connection there. The midfield is like so stretched. Bruno's pushing forward. Ugarte doesn't know whether to jump with the press or not. Then the attackers become isolated because there's a problem in the midfield. The full thing's flawed completely.
Yeah. Well, next time we play, like, just watch whenever Mbeumo gets the ball. There's three people in between him and Sesko or whoever's up front, and then there's another person between him. And so it's so flawed. But then, just to add to your point, Nick, the year Conte won the Premier League with Chelsea, they lost their first three games, I believe.
Yep.
And then he went to a back three, and then they beat Arsenal, and then just carried on. Just carried on to win. So it's like we just need to see adaptable things. And just a quick point about the centre-back thing I wanted to mention when you talked about it earlier. It's not like he makes a change for a centre-back and then you see a change in the game. Nothing changes. So he makes the change and then it's just where it probably
for no reason.
Even worse. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So if you're chasing the game, I don't get it. And every time he makes it, almost as if we're always chasing the game. If you're chasing the game, why are you bringing on the centre-back?
And he made the same subs again with Mount at wing-back. 6 player, and then Xerxes comes on. And they're in weird pockets. And it's kind of like just roll the dice and see what fucking happens. There's no, someone just put in the chat there, and it couldn't have hit better. A set-piece coach outsmarted our coach. Let that sink in.
No.
Every coach knows how to outsmart. Arne Slot was here for like a matter of months, and he outsmarted Amram because he knew exactly how to.
Do you remember when we were talking about this? I think there's a group chat. Right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. This is how you do it.
I think there's a group chat, and it's like, and then they just go into the group
Silver
chat.
broke it down as well on an interview with TNT. He was like, "Oh yeah, we knew this setup, but this we did X, Y, and Z, and that's how we did it." And he's just like, if every manager knows exactly how to beat you, then your system is not working. You need to figure out something where the managers are like, I don't know how to beat this system. That's what you need to do.
What annoys me the most is the commentators. Like, you hear them analyzing the system. Like, what the fuck do you? And it's like, and they're correct, which is what pisses me off as well. Like, how is it that these two commentators just know? I mean, they can see it. Yeah. And it's like, if they can see it, what the fuck? Like,
what are the players thinking as well, though? The players must be thinking that in the game. They're like, well, we're trying our best, but this is. I do think that there's accountability on their end as well, because I'm watching that defending, and
it's comical.
It's so bad, and it's the same people again, though. Mm-hmm. So we can say, right, well, we played a system under Ole, under Ten Hag, under Amorim, under Shaw. That's on the manager as well, by the way, starting Shaw, not starting Lenny Yoro. That's something. Didn't get that choice at all because he was shocking in the past couple of games. There just seems to be this. Whenever them two play together, there always seems to be this whirlwind at the back of just shit that always seems to come together. And it's been like that for. Look, Maguire's had his good games in Europa League, he's had his moments, and he's had some really good games
when he doesn't play with Shaw. When he doesn't play with Shaw.
But even so, like in a back three, when the ball gets played long, he can't even deal with that. That's a simple ball in behind into a channel, and he's fucking clawing to get back. Like, I don't think you could put them players and win anything significant with them players at all. No. With Ugarte and Bruno in the fucking midfield, or Maguire, Shaw, Bayern in net. They're all shit. They're all absolutely shit.
We just make everyone look good. Like, before the game started, I think it was Sam that put in the group chat saying something like, I think he said, oh shit, Ouattara still plays for Brentford.
Me.
And
Nick.
was it you who said that?
Yeah.
And for someone like me who's been like a long-term Man United fan, like I've been there through the whole the glory days and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, who the fuck is Ouattara? I still have that chip on my shoulder as a United fan. And it's so annoying to see people like Dada, Ouattara, fucking Damsgaard, right? How are we making all these guys look like top players? And then they go to, I don't know.
Thiago looked like prime fucking Ivan Toney.
Bro,
like, he just looks like a ridiculous player.
Honestly. And in my head, I'm like, the people I faced off with, like, you can't even shine your shoes. Yeah. And, it's these kind of guys that we're having to deal with now. And watch, they probably go and play, I don't know who they play next, fucking Sunderland or Fulham, and then they'll get beat like 4-1. Yeah. Some stupid.
Yeah, the reason why I mentioned Ouattara was because I remember a game under Ten Hag when we played Bournemouth when he was there, where he was dropping into the midfield because our midfield was so exposed under Ten Hag, and he would drive the ball and carry it, and he'd cause problems every single time we played Bournemouth. So as soon as I saw him in that starting lineup, I thought,
yeah, fucking hell,
sake, man.
Yeah.
I knew that. I watched that Igor Thiago a bit the past couple of weeks. He's a physical problem. He saw the threat that he had, and then Shard's quick. He did Dalot 3-4 times that I saw for pace. It just causes problems. Just
he can fuck
defensively
off
weak,
as well.
Slow. Diego Dalot's another one.
He can
Jesus
fuck
Christ,
off.
Man. Me and Dan said on the build-up, as soon as we saw him starting, we was like, how's this guy still here, man? How is he still here? And I bet he's still here in 2 years' time, and I bet we're still talking about moaning about him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It'll
right, let me get back into the comments because it's fucking loads. Just so deflated watching this team, says Daryl. No sign of getting anywhere near being competitive. All Amorim says is we need time on the training pitch. He's had long enough. I absolutely agree with that. UTFR Nathan in the chat as well saying I don't even like him anymore. The bloke's a tool. How can we... That's UTFR, Nath. How can we not find a decent manager? It's unbelievable. Johnny Hill, Amorim post-match saying, if you want me gone, then sack me. Ineos, do your job and sack the clown. Jesus. Deadly New, been waiting for a week and all I got is a 3-1. Yeah, I saw something before saying, it's all well and good saying no European football and we can focus on the game. But then when you're losing it and you've got to wait a week on it, it's even fucking worse.
Yeah.
Maguire is terrified of being done for pace. It affects every decision he makes. Spot on, T2. Absolutely spot on that. Andy saying, I'm sorry, high risk, high reward. Maguire can't play a high line. You don't need a coaching degree to see it. If in my work I was failing at my job completely and then I told my bosses that I refused to change anything, I would get sacked on the spot. You can talk about systems all you want, but Shaw, Maguire and Dalot have let down countless managers. Don't even start me on buying
pin that fucking comment because Jesus Christ, they are consistently
both need going.
Since we started this channel, I think we've probably mentioned their names more than any other player in terms of like being shite for this team.
Yeah,
like I'm sick
and it would be the usual kind of ones. We talk Onana, Maguire, Shaw, Dalot, Ugarte. None of them good enough. I've not even got into the penalty yet or anything like that. Let's just quickly go through them. Obviously, we start the second half off. You think, right, you need to get back into this, lads. It's 2-1. There's an opportunity. If you start well, you could probably get a win from this game. And quite a lot of people thought that at the time. Flat. No intensity. Poor again. And then this situation that seems to happen with us quite a lot. We're getting a fortunate moment. We win the penalty. 2 questions on it to both of you. I'll start with you, Civir. 1, do you think he should have been sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity? And 2, did you have in the back of your mind, and I'm not just saying this, I swear to God, because of how long it got dragged out for with VAR, and then the manager played the subs on top of that as well, didn't he, to stretch it, that Bruno was going to miss that?
1, I think it would have been harsh if the player got sent off. But then if he got sent off, I'd understand it as well.
Yeah.
And I think just for my pride, I wanted him to stay because I didn't want it to be a situation where we needed a penalty to beat Burnley, and then we needed a man
the
down
narrative being written already.
Beat Chelsea, so I wanted us to beat them fair and square.
Yeah.
As far as the time wasted, I have had a lot of faith in Bruno as far as penalty takes. So far before this season, he's been probably one of the best penalty takers I've seen in a very long time as far as consistency. So I thought, he's big enough to handle that pressure. Like if you're Bruno Fernandes, even if it's 10 minutes, like it's your bread and butter. Like you should be able to bury that regardless.
When you're
but there's just something about ex-Liverpool players, ex-Arsenal. Like I was like Jordan Henderson, fuck, I was like, but I have to deal with him. And then this Kelleher, there's just something about them. When we play them, it's I don't know, like we can't even just buy a look. And Bruno made the wrong choice and just went the wrong way. I don't know why he stopped doing this. Yeah, he stopped doing the skip thing. Like that used to go so many times.
In his head.
He side foots it, like he passes it into the like corner, and
if you notice,
that's easy. That.
If you notice, Kelleher played him. If you watch the replay, he for a split second he goes to the right and then dips left.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kelleher done him there, but yeah, that was just
the reason why we are so inconsistent. And I will keep saying this: we have a manager who's too emotional and too stubborn, and we have a captain who's too emotional and too stubborn at times. They're the two of the biggest reasons. They're the two biggest figures in our club currently at the minute, and both of them, you can't trust them a lot of the times in big moments or high pressure situations because they're over emotional, and it's a problem. Ruben Amorim just been asked about that not being a red card. Sam, he said the referee told me that Brian was not in control of the ball. I think he was not in control of the ball because he was pulled. I don't want to focus on the referee. We need to play better. What do you make of that assessment?
Yeah, like. If you look at the rules, is a denial of a goal scoring opportunity and he's the last man, so he should be sent off because he makes no attempt to play the ball. So with the rules, and we've seen how the rules have been famously interpreted and they've been put to the absolute letter for certain things and then not for other things. So according to the rules that they implement, that should be a red card. But like Chivy said, if I was refereeing it, I'd be like, it's a bit harsh to send him off because of what it was. But according to the rules, it should be a red card. So either way, like I'm not really
Didn't
that
Vivian get sent off for Athletic Club against us for doing the same thing?
Yeah. So I like.
Oh
VAR,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. VAR now, I don't understand what they look at, what they're checking anymore. It just doesn't. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, like Chewy said, Bruno, you paid a vast amount of money. You're captain. You've buried these for your entire career with no issues. You should be able to just slot that away, and it's 2-2, and we maybe draw or maybe we go on to win this. But piss poor penalty, absolutely weak mentality, and like cost us the game. I doubt he'll be taking off penalties now, even though he probably should be because he's missed the last two.
Yeah,
should be taking off penalties now. I'll give it to Mbumo or Sesko or somebody, but he probably won't be.
Initially, I thought Mbumo would take it because he's from Brentford. I thought they'd do the whole
kind of passing the
ball
scenario, like this is your moment or whatever. Oh lads, what on earth do we do next with this fucking club? Totally agree about Shaw and Maguire. Why is Ruben constantly picking these players though? I swear he never takes any accountability post match. Just brings up this fucking system crap. Not only that, I feel like when they ask about a job or whatever, he goes, all right, sack me. Or if they want me to go, then let me go. It's almost like you're not taking accountability or not noticing the flaws in your system, what's going on. It's like, if you don't like it, then just get rid of me. It's like,
I think he's not a leader and he's very uninspiring. Like, I still cringe at the fact that he can't watch corners or he can't watch penalties and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing inspiring about that. If all our players, because we have emotional players. Cunha is one of them. He's emotional. Bruno, you've got a few young players there. They'll be looking up to a senior player for inspiration or character or something. But then who are you going to look up to? Well, Maguire. I mean, fair play to him. He's been through But then you look at your manager and he doesn't inspire you at all.
Imagine going to war. You look behind you and your leader, your sergeant is like that.
That's what I'm saying.
What I mean?
Yeah. So we have to watch it. We have to go through we have to face all the tension and watch it. Because I never look away. I have to watch the thing. And then he can't watch it. Like, it's so uninspiring.
He's too emotional to be the manager of Man United.
He's not a leader. He's not a leader. Like, it's there's nothing there that screams leadership at all.
Feels more like a friend, doesn't it? Rather than a manager. Like their friend. and you need a balance of both to be a top manager.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with this for most of the season, I think.
I think you're right as well. I think so. Sunderland next up. God knows what's going to fucking happen in that game. I have no idea. But all I know is where I stand right now with this team is there's a lot of players that aren't good enough, but I think a lot of people kind of knew that anyway. They are mentally weak, and they have been weak for a long, long time. And again, that stems from players who are still at the club as well. And then almost the players that come in become a bad environment of that and almost get kind of infected by that. And the manager is way too stubborn to change his tactics. So for me, I would let the manager go. Maybe by the international break's probably a more kind of convenient time. And bring someone in new, because if you're going to stick with him, then the season's going to be the same as last season pretty much. There'll be the odd game that we win where people will jump on it and be like, right, see, it works there. But what if it's only going to work 1 out of 10 times? What's the fucking point of playing the system?
Scary thing about it is that we're showing proper like relegation form. That's what's scary. So even if we want to stick with him, there's no guarantee that, I mean, we probably wouldn't even get Conference League football, but there's a high chance that we might be in a relegation scrap. Yeah. And that's the scary thing about it. Sorry, Sam, I cut you off.
That's right. Do you remember like last year where we'd get a win and be like, all right, this is the turning point. Like, this is the turning point. And we did it under Ten Hag as well. Right, this is the turning point. This thing. I could just see that it's going to be this season again, isn't it? Every win, we're just like, right, this is the turning point. Like, this is where I turn it around. And it just never comes, does it? Just never comes, like, ever. So I don't see what change, unless the manager changes and the system changes, etc. I just don't see that changing, unfortunately.
Yeah. Of course, we were the early kickoff, so it's not the full tale at the minute, but we're 13th on 7 points, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses so far this season. 11 goals scored, -4. Oh no, sorry, that is goal difference -4. Goals against was 11. Scored 7. So not looking great at all. Not ideal. Amarin's just said after the game, it's always the same. When we win, it's not the system. When we lose, it's the system. I understand that. Deary me, deary me. Buckle up, people. It's going to be another shit season. Sunderland next at home. And just go try and enjoy the rest of your weekend, because that's what I'm going to try and do. Forget about football entirely, because that was just a bag of shit.
As we're talking now, my notifications have just been going bling, like WhatsApp messages that are just coming in.
Yeah. Turn your phone off.
Even if I want to forget it, like I'm just gonna have to
get your phone, Jimmy. Get your phone and just frisbee it out the window.
No. I can take L's like gracefully when it comes to banter, so I'm alright.
Yeah. Right, well, hopefully the rest of you will be all right enjoying the weekend. Appreciate you all tuning in for this post-match review. Man United have lost 3-1 to Brentford, and the fucking roller coaster goes again. See you in a bit.